Right, just a quick audio check before I carry on. Right, just a quick audio check before I carry on. I think we can call that a success. All right, let's get to it then, shall we? I should probably rename the stream to something slightly more festive. There we are. I put the word festive in the title to the stream. Right. Okay. I'm listening to Christmas music, and we're going to be you're gonna have to believe me, because I don't want to put Christmas music on during the stream. That will ruin any chance of it going to YouTube. And I advise you do the same. You listen to some Christmas music too. Right, so where were we? Last time we were working on Freeplay mode. We got it to the point where there was creatures on the surface, and there was only a couple of spawn points, and they were spawning way too rapidly. We haven't done anything particularly clever with that yet, but we've got it working. So let's see if we can move on with that then, I guess. So let me find the Freeplay map that we were working on. Loading. This hat's itchy. Maybe I'll stream without the hat. I've got a festive jumper on anyway. It's the Grinch. Hello. Hello, Adani76. And hello, Pro Tip Top. Good to have you here. Just, we will be cracking on with some Freeplay mode stuff. I'm going to wait a little while before I do, but we normally have a suggestions document on the go. So let me let's get that up. What date is it today? 21st. Okay. I'm just going to post this in the chat now. Okay. I'm just going to post it. So you're welcome to join in with suggestions. Hello, Mike. Good to have you with us. So yeah, you're welcome to make suggestions in the document. Should you wish. Freeplay mode's a community-driven mode, and I'm going to be updating the proper dev doc based on suggestions that come in. Obviously, not everything can be done, and also just take. Sometimes I'll take some of a suggestion and consider it. we shall see. Either way, at the end of the stream, I'll go through any suggestions that have been made, and we'll have a discussion about them. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is, before we basically set up 2 of these spawn points and 2 of these rough areas on the surface where creatures were going to wander around, but I want to set up a load more of those now. So if we look at each individual colony hole and we kind of make them roughly even, so maybe in this area, if we give these 2, if we give 2 to this one, and maybe 1 there and 1 there, 2 to this one, and 2 in this area as well. That way we've got kind of an even spread, sort of even. It doesn't have to be exactly even. In free play mode, you're only playing against yourself, right? Right, so making a copy of that. I'm going to make 2 spawners over here. And what we've got to remember is the spawners aren't the only important thing. There needs to be the interesting area as well, which is where the spawned creatures are going to head towards. I think last time what we said we would do is we said we would make the spawners look for their nearest interesting point, maybe the nearest 2, and make a decision based on that. So maybe I'll look into doing that soon. Let's turn off random perturbation. Mesh with it a bit better. Okay, so that's 1 in this area. Let's put this one over here. For those who haven't noticed, we did send out a patch this morning. It wasn't a very interesting patch, unfortunately. It just fixed a couple of things with the previous one. It was mainly to fix the spiders, Santa hats. If you turn arachnophobia mode on, the spiders now have Santa hats, but they were blocking line of sight, which was a bit of a mistake. Because it basically meant that wood ants couldn't shoot them. They became invincible to wood ants. But we fixed that this morning. Thanks for our wonderful community for spotting it quickly for us. So we okay. So that's 2 in that area. I'll put 2 in this area. So I'll put 1 link to that. Maybe 1 link to this border on the side here. it's the one that's under the floor there. That one. Need to make this a bit more interesting, I think. Do that in a moment. Got any questions about the game? Fire away. I'm all ears. Do my best to answer them. Right, let's start making this a bit more interesting, shall we? Be nice if there was some back-end access to some of these areas. Like, I've got to be careful about doing things too fancy, because the ants will take the shortest path to routes, and if there's multiple paths there, they might, if some of them might split. And the last thing you want is your forces splitting, going miles out the way. Hello again. Request festive music. I would, but it would cause issues with YouTube if we upload to YouTube. So I am listening to festive music, but unfortunately I don't dare put it on for the sake of YouTube copyright strikes. How festive. Festive copyright strikes. Hello again, Torbjorn. Hello, King of Ants. Hello, Base T81. Good to have you with us. I am the Ant God. The ants obey me. Well, most of the time. Sometimes they just crash. Should probably make the edge of the map have at least be one off the ground, so the player can't so it's obvious that the player can't get there. I mean, I don't have to. Should be obvious anyway, but right. I'm gonna make my first save of the day. I have a question. The more venomous the creature, the more venom damage they do, right? It's sort of a Christmas tree. It was actually a table decoration at my wedding a year and a bit ago, but I decorated it like a Christmas tree. So right, venom damage. The way venom damage works is it's usually to do with a specific ability. So for example, the wood ants, they have venom damage. Spiders, they have an ability called Venom Strike, which is they jump and attack a single target, and that does like venom damage over time. I mean, let's take a look, shall we? That's a links with creature abilities. Sorry. Let me just find the sheet we want to look at. Abilities. Okay, so here's some of the abilities. If we have a look at them. So here's the damage type here. So what we've got here is there's the wood ant spray attacks, and they've all got venom damage. There's not that many venom damage abilities in the game, actually. All right, the spider's venom strike is actually physical at the minute. That probably be venom. Although I've got a feeling it does an effect. Hang on, let me open another sheet. Because abilities can have effects assigned to them. So here's the effects in the game. So yeah, so there is the Venom Strike, and this is the extra damage it does. So Venom Strike does some physical damage when it hits. So there's Beach Wolf Spider Venom Strike. When it hits, it does 5 damage of physical. It's got an area of effect, so it's not a very big area of effect. 30 is about... You'd probably hit 2 or 3 ants with that. It's got a cooldown of 15 seconds. Okay. But when it hits as well, it also applies this, which lasts 10 seconds. Every second. So every second it does 10 damage. So that actually does 100 damage in total. That would be enough to kill almost every ant in the game. Not every creature, but every ant in the game. Christmas sticks. Yeah, Christmas sticks. Could you play 1.2 on hard with challenge mod? Would like to see how you win / play this stage. I'll consider having an actual play of Empires of the Undergrowth at the end. Yeah, maybe 1.2 wouldn't be a bad one because it's got the festive hat spiders on it. It's got the spiders on it. So yeah, I'll have a look at that later. I personally can complete the levels on hard mode. I don't always win when I play the levels on hard mode though, so we'll have to see. I can't do them on insane. I'm not good enough. Although it has been proven that every level in the game can be won on insane already, which is good because I wasn't actually sure it would be able to, because I'm not good and I'm not the best player in the world, even though it's my game doesn't make me the best player at it. But yeah, I should be able to give 1.2 on challenge mode a go. Maybe we'll finish the stream with that. We were toying with the idea of having Fog of War on free play mode. I mean, we haven't built Fog of War into the game yet, but I think it seems to make sense with free play. Because it means, you know, it encourages the player to explore. On hard mode, I can win, but I lost every try with challenge mode. In last steps of the match, don't know how I can change. Is the German guy in your team living in Germany or England? One of the people that works on our team lives in Germany. It's out there in Berlin. No one on our team's actually German, though. He speaks very good German. He's lived there for a while now, but... he's like got German heritage, but he's not... he was born in the UK. Okay, so I've added 2 into this area. I need to add 2 into this area. So just more spawn points. I'll give them... We'll tell the free play director that we set up last time about these new spawn points shortly, and hopefully it'll just make use of them. Oh, damn it! It's okay. Thankfully, you can undo selections. Need to try and remember to turn random perturbation off on the tiles that are around these spawners. Just makes them connect with the rock better. Random perturbation is what you'll see at the edge here. If I zoom in, so see how that's there. If I turn that off and on, so you see it with random perturbation on, it's raised a little bit there. With it off, Fog of War should be an option. Prison Architect has free play. Fog of War option. Alright, cool. There are no German guys. I didn't know Prison Architect had that as an option. So yeah, you're probably right, Mike. Keep things optional. my hat back on. Me bobble hat. It's got reindeer on it. Okay, so turn random perturbation off on these as well. I think I've already done it on the other ones. I think. Well, I haven't done it on this one apparently. Have I done it on this one? No. Right, okay. I got the feeling. Okay, we need to put one more in this area. It's the Darkness Christmas song on here now. Don't know how people feel about that one. I really like it. Christmas time. Shove another spawner here. Then I think there's only 2 more to add after this. Right, let's have a quick look. Our funnel web's going to be on this map. Right, I would like them to be. I need to figure out how yet, because the thing about funnel webs is they're currently preset up on maps. So I need to find and I don't want any creatures to be preset up. I want them to be. I mean, what I'll probably have is underground. I don't need them to be preset up underground. They'll probably be preset up caverns maybe. But eventually, I'd like to randomize it as much of it as possible. But what I always said about this mode was I would create the simplest version of it I could to start with, and then we can build on it together. I'm still in the process of creating the simple version. So, simplest version. No, they won't be in the very first version, but eventually I would like to come up with a way of randomly generating funnel webs. So I want everything that's in, all the creatures that are in the game to be an option for this mission. Random perturbation off. Those two are very close to. I'm gonna shift this one. Turn random perturbation back on these ones. Okay, so a few questions came in. Funnel Web, Silk Disco, will max be increased to say 1,000 or potentially 10,000? As we make the game more efficient, we will be increasing the pop cap. We're still early access. In our tests, in fact, you can run tests yourself if you go to the surrounded map and just spawn yourself a load of food and just create loads of stuff, because there's no official pop cap in that. Then you'll discover that you can get to around 600 ants, but things do start to churn, slow down then. And you can go further, but they get slower and slower. So as we make the game more efficient, it'll become more viable for us to allow bigger pop caps. And as you play through as we introduce new levels, the former carrying pop cap will be increased. It already is increased as you play through. 10,000 is unlikely. We're unlikely to ever get to that level, and it's because we haven't been simple with the AI with the ants. That they're actually relatively involved AI. I mean, there's definitely efficiency savings that can be made in the AI and the graphics and all sorts, and we'll be making them and upping and changing things as we go. But 10,000 is very unlikely. 1,000 I think is possible one day. We'll see. I'll say the same that we've always said about multiplayer mode, is that we would love to do it, but we've got limited resources, manpower at the minute. So I mean, we will be growing as a company. I mean, I'm not even working full time on it yet. I will be, but yeah, we'll see how things go for multiplayer. I can't promise anything. One, two. I mean, at the minute, I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough creatures in the game to make multiplayer interesting. Because really, in multiplayer, what you want is someone to be doing one tactic and then for you to switch and counter it and that. I mean, another option is like cooperative. So, do you ever play the Red Alert 3 campaign? So maybe you share a colony, or you have two colonies fighting against the computer, so it's not so competitive. Just thoughts. I need two more of these, don't I? Okay, carrying on, because I've fallen behind a bit in the chat. Yeah. Fog of War would be cool if the enemy nest is at a random location. You need to find it, like you have. Yeah. I mean, the way I'm looking at this map. Oh, it's auto saving. The way I'm looking at this map is there's preset up locations where the nests are, but they're not necessarily occupied. So the idea will be that you have enemy colonies that might be there, might not be there. And in Freeplay, I wanted it to be able to, for maybe one to be empty, a nest to be empty at one point, and then maybe part way through the level, an enemy colony sets up there. We'll see. There's a lot of work left to be done in this game mode, and indeed in the whole game. Movable Ant Queens is a funny one. Because I mean, certainly on the missions that are in at the moment, it wouldn't make sense to have a movable ant queen because in order to make the mission hard, your ant queen has to be quite accessible from the nest entrance. I mean, in this one, I haven't yet looked into movable ant queens, but what we do have, if I zoom into one of the start locations, is it's not, your route to the surface is not tunneled out by default, so you can decide how the route that you want, and it just gives you a bit more freedom in nest design. So that'll be a start point with free play mode. Maybe one day. I wouldn't count out movable queens, but it's not high up on our priority list. It's cricket. I want this whole area to be quite raised. Just to give this area some interesting features. So this one will be slightly different because it'll be ramp access to other colonies and stuff. Let's get some raised area. Hope you've all asked for ants for Christmas. I think we may have caused a few people to want actual life formicariums. We're at a game show and like showing the game in Birmingham. UK, and some child with their parents came over, very excited to play the latest build that we brought to the show, and the father said they're asking they want a formicarium for Christmas. I said it's our fault. If Fog of War would be in the game, the bull ant would have the widest range. Are they? Can they sense a long distance? Are you going to make modes where the player fight against other players' nests? Because bull ant have one of the best. Oh right, interesting. I've asked Santa for some Formiga Fusca for Christmas. Nice. Yeah, we'll definitely make modes where you're fighting other nests. I mean, the code's in here already to attack another player's nest. I mean, we disabled it in the missions because it wasn't the focus of those missions to kill the other player. But I believe a few of the missions we have planned are ones where you've got to take on another colony. It's a bit of a funny one, like, because in nature, there are ant species that will wipe out another colony. But most of them, they have a go at each other. They fight for a bit, but very rarely will they actually destroy each other completely. Certainly in free play mode, you'll be able to do that. Not too bothered about the about whether you'd attack each other in nature in free play mode. Free play mode's more of a playground than anything else. Something selected that shouldn't be. But okay, I'm confused. Right, let's put a couple of those spawners up here. I then need to put points of interest in as well. This needs to go vertical. Cool. How are we doing? Turn off random perturbation. Cool. I need one more of these. Put it over there. Right, I think that's all of them, isn't it? There's two there, two there, two there, two there, and then two for just this general central area. Okay. The next thing to put in is these points of interest. Again, I want to put in a couple for each. It's not letting me click on it. Oh no, I have clicked on it. Okay. So with these, I want them to go into wide open areas. Because I want them to be able to not only be the focus for enemies to attack, I also want things like aphid farms to be able to appear in them. So they need a large amount of space in order to... And it's these that will potentially be used for things like funnel webs as well. Potentially. But also enemy colonies will use these to have a quick look to see if there's food or enemies nearby them, and make their AI decisions based on these. So it's they're quite important markers, these. Like I say, they've got to be placed in wide open areas. Okay, I'll put another one over there. All this is open for change as well. Once we actually see the map in action, we may decide that a load of these need reworking or repositioning. And like I was saying, I need wide open spaces for them, so... What's that? That's a defeat thing. Okay. Yeah. Let's put one over here, I think, and then I think we're done with the points of interest as well. For now, at least, until we can figure out what's going on. Okay, coming back to the chat. I think he was asking. The thing about the bull ants, what type of bull ant will be my favourite bull ant? It's the jumping jacks. Oh, the jumping jacks, they are cool. Though we were looking at different types of jumping ant. There's like an Indian one as well, Indian jumping ant, and they're similarly cool. Trapjaws as well. Trapjaw ants. They don't jump, but they have a method where they can, like their jaw opens so quick that it flings them away, and they use it to get out of danger. But they also use it to flick other things away. So they're quite fascinating. Make the ants have Christmas hats for the 24th of December. Rabbit ears, pumpkin heads, Halloween. The bull ant. Well, if you turn on arachnophobia mode now, the spiders have them. Hi, Vervidan37. Good luck, cheers. Hello, how's it going? Signless Gaming. It's alright, it's going alright. We're slowly getting there with this. There's lots to do when you're setting up a map in our game, but we're getting there. Will the other entrance that you don't spawn on be on the map, because it would look weird have multiple entrances without ants being in them? What I'm thinking is that enemy colonies that aren't occupied, so there's no one in them, should really have like it. There should be a graphic that's just the tunnel, but it's blocked up, um, to make it obvious as well as yeah, because it wouldn't make sense. Um, so yeah, the idea is that it would look like that, but instead the hole was just blocked with either sand or rubble or something. We'll see. I'll see what our artist Matt can do, because this is the first time we've needed closed surface tunnels. So I need to come up with a list of things that Matt needs to do on this, because because I don't want to pull too much time away from, because he'll be working on when it gets to the new year, he'll be working on the new graphics for the new areas of the game, so the new environments, new ant species, new enemy species. So I don't want to take too much time away from him, but there's a few bits and bobs that I think we could do with him free play mode, and they may also help the other missions anyway. So yeah, there's a few bits and bobs, but I want to be careful with how I take his time away from other tasks. It's a careful balance trying to work out where to spend the time. And certain things that work better in bulk. So, for example, audio recording. Much easier to do that in one session than having to get someone for their time over and over again. So yeah, it's putting the game together is a fine balancing act for people's time. Alright, I'll be back in a moment whilst it's saving. Right, sorry about that. Away for a little bit longer than I expected there. I see a Snider in the game. Not for now. We made a decision on the type of black ant that went in, based on their interactions with other species. I think. Can't remember exactly what the decision was, but that's why we ended up with Formica fuchsia, fusca, whatever, rather than Lasius niger. There was a reason for it. Maybe one day. I mean, there's a Lasius niger model in there, because originally we were going to have Lasius niger. I mean, if I have a look at 3D models, unless it's been removed from the game, which it might have done. Looks like it's been cleaned up. Yeah, never mind. Glasses. Nope, not that. Anyway. I'm not going to spend my time searching for Lasius niger that's not there. Hello. I'm glad you love in the game. Oh. You don't hear anything. Should be coming through. Says it's coming through. Good. Fire ants. Yes, we do. They're actually part of the Kickstarter stretch goal. Yeah, fire ants. They will be in there. Fire ants will be a fun one to do. I've got the whole raft building thing. Right. Okay, so I've got a load of points and things. Right, last time, I can't remember where it is. Is that it? Last time we had... That's a swarm blueprint. That's a swarm blueprint. Oh, I added that in just to have a look at what settings swarms had. Okay, Freeplay manager is what I'm looking for. Freeplay director. Let's have a look at the Freeplay director again. See where we got to last time. So at the minute, the Freeplay director, the spawn points and the points of interest are added manually. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove them all, so it's empty. And then what the Freeplay director is going to do at the beginning of the game is it's going to hunt for these actors itself. So I shouldn't have saved, should I? It takes ages to save. Thanks for the answer. Wasn't the fire? Yes, the fire ant bridges was the Kickstarter goal. Fire ants themselves were actually already planned to be in the game, but yeah, we weren't sure if we were going to do bridges or not. But yeah, they were the Kickstarter goal. This is not a Christmas song. I know you can't hear the music that I'm listening to, but blooming miserable Christmas songs. Skip them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that's the think command there. What I'm actually going to do on begin play is we're going to get all actors of class. So this is just going to search the level for any actor of a certain class. So there's point of interest we want to do. So here, so that's just basically got an array of all the points of interest and added them in to that, and we're going to do exactly the same with the spawn points as well, which are these. What are they called? OG tunnel spawner. Okay, so there we've got all the tunnel spawners as well, and we're going to add those to the spawn points. Okay, so what should happen now if we run the map is we should actually get them spawning out of anywhere and going to anywhere. John, yes. Did you studied the programmer's school, or you learnt games from your experience? I did engineering. Is what I did at university. So it does have elements of programming, but it's tends to be more mathematical based programming than and more, it's more maths heavy than programming heavy. However, it does definitely help studying engineering. I mean, once you know how to program, I'm a self-taught programmer. But once you know how to program in one language, then the engineering becomes important because I know how to do the math side of it all as well. So yeah, it's programming-wise, I'm self-taught with help from my friends, but yeah, maths-wise, I studied it. Okay, so if I play now, what we should notice is hopefully it doesn't crash. Don't think it should crash. Although the map... Oh no, there we are, it's working. Okay, so... Yeah, so we should notice that these things can spawn from anywhere. Huh. He's got stuck because there's no way off this upper area now. Well, he hasn't got his Christmas hat on. Oh, depends what type of creature he is. I thought the tiger beetles were going to win for a moment there, but no, they're not going to win. It's all sorts of stuff going on. I know why they haven't got their Santa hats on. It's because it's the wrong model. I'll deal with that. That was very loud. I should probably turn the volume down. Fire ants are awesome ants. I'm both sad and glad we don't have them in the UK. Yes, they're awesome, but they're also, they can be a nuisance. Okay, so here all it's doing is it's randomly selecting what type of creature to spawn. What we should do now It's, I mean, selecting between 3 creatures. There's a lot more than 3 different types of creature. Nope. So let's add. I mean, let's for now. Let's just add the different types of creature in. So. Right, that shouldn't be just beach wolf. That shouldn't be beach wolf spider. It should be beach. There's large beach wolf spider, small collision, and then beach wolf spider, medium beach wolf spider, small beach wolf spider. Then hermit crab wise, there's a small hermit crab as well. Beach tiger beetle. There's a small beach tiger beetle as well, isn't there? Right, we need to start thinking about the settings as well. Because at the moment, this is just spawning completely random creatures. But I want the player to be able to choose what creatures are allowed to spawn. Okay, so how many we got there? Between 0 and max -1, so 7. The colony IDs here are... Hang on. So all the spiders should be on the same team. All the beach tiger beetles and all the hermit crabs, so they don't cannibalize each other. Okay, so that should be a lot more diverse. I'm going to turn the volume down as well. Question: how many streams are you going to do on the free play mode? I just keep going till it's done. I mean, I'm not going to stream the entirety of it, just because some tasks aren't very interesting. But I'm going to stream a lot of it. I can't tell you exactly how many I'm going to do because I don't know how many it's going to take. Yeah. That's one of the spiders. Oh, those two have got into a scrap already. I reckon the hermit crab's going to win that one. Okay, that's just not fair. Ah. Anyway, I need to get a ramp into this area. Because at the moment, everything's just going to get stuck trying to get off this area. So let's get a ramp in. There's one knocking around. We're going to be able to move our queen at some point. I said a while ago, it's not a priority, and certainly in the missions that exist in the game at the moment, you'll never be able to move your queen because those missions are balanced around the queen being in that location. However, if we did ever do it, it would be in something like free play mode here. So we will see. It's not a simple task, though. I mean, the queen hasn't got any AI or anything. So I'm not saying we'll never be able to move the queen, but I'm saying it's not top of our priority list. It is a request we get very frequently, though. The more noise people make about it, the more we'll consider it, obviously. We don't want to ignore people. I think that's alright. Right, again, I need to turn off random perturbations where the ramp connects. Just makes it connect a bit better. Okay. Let me just check that that works. Ah, yeah, of course. Like the edge tiles have this red barrier, which means creatures are discouraged from walking over it. But where there's a ramp, I can turn it off. Doesn't mean they can't walk over it. It means they avoid it if they can. And it's... Which one is it? Has edge, that's the one. Well, it's not letting me click that, is it? Oh, hang on, it's there. It's the invisible wall. Clearly, I'm not allowed to change if a tile's got an edge or not. That's something deeper in the engine. It's no invisible wall. That's the one. The reason for these rednesses is to discourage creatures walking right next to the edge, because it can cause issues when they get stuck on the edge. It would be cool if to have an opposite of the Queen of the Hill, that you have to get your nest to higher ground before moving the route up to escape the rising tide. Yeah, that was at one point that was actually the thought of how we could do the challenge mode on that level to swap it around, but it's not a simple one to do. I think that would actually require us to save a copy of the map and properly change things. It's not like the mole crickets that could be just added into the current map. That would be a significant chunk of effort to do that. I leave it for 2 minutes and it auto saves. Okay, so now they at least won't be getting stuck there. Takes a while even to just press the play button these days. Basically, the creatures are spawning from anywhere and going to anywhere. Really, what I need them to do is when the swarm point spawns, they need to do a quick check of what's the nearest. So I'll do that next. They need to do a quick check of what's the nearest stuff going on. Oh god, there's a proper war going on here. Crabs versus spiders. My money's on the spiders, to be honest. Don't see much. Wow, they did a lot of damage that fast. Dangerous are those beach tiger beetles. No, but the spiders. If I left this going, it would just be a bigger and bigger war going on the surface between these. These don't seem to be getting anywhere. Watch the oh. Yeah. You don't want to go near that, mate. Okay. So obviously things are spawning way too quick at the minute. Then we're gonna have a look at that now. So, what is it I say I was gonna do? Oh yeah, I was gonna make it find the nearest. Sorry, I'm gonna make a function for this. Closest point of interest. Right, to start with, I'll just make it return the closest. But I really think, or maybe I'll make it return the closest 3, and it can make a random decision based on those. So what it's going to do is we're going to pass in a what they called OG spawn points. Hang on. What are they called? Tunnel spawner. Okay, so we're going to have a look through our array of points of interest. And we're just going to do, to start with, I'm just going to keep it dead simple. I'm just going to do a square root distance check. Obviously, that's not going to be entirely accurate because this doesn't take into, this is like as the crow flies rather than as the wolf runs. But it's a starting point. Do enemies regenerate their health? Colony creatures do regenerate their health. If we have a look at so there's 2 different types of creature in the game. One's called swarm creature, and one's called colony creature. Now, colony creature is like an ant; it obeys the rule of a colony. So it follows markers. It has a place that it was born, like a tile that it was born on, all that sort of stuff. Although I actually think any creature can have health regeneration. Just don't know if they do. So look. So they've got a swarm black ant there and a black ant. A quick look at the black ant. Black ant, loads of stats. Let's have a look for any reference to health. So the black ants have 0.1 health per second, so they regenerate 0.1 health per second. A swarm black ant. Swarm black ants do the same by the look of it. Beach wolves, I don't believe these do. Yeah, okay, so the normal enemies don't regenerate their health. Apart from the hermit crab has an ability that does it. And they go into their shell and their health comes back when they're on low health. Additionally, the large beach wolf spider has one as well, where it grabs an enemy, chews on it for a few seconds, and gets health back during that time. So there's a couple of them that do, but they're reaction abilities as well. They need enemies near them to do that, and they have to be on low health. Ants regenerate their health though. If they will attack each other, you should make it so that the creatures that the tiger beetle killed, the tiger beetle should eat the body, so you know no free food in the ant colony. Yes, I actually mentioned this last time we were working on it, that we either need the enemy creatures to eat what they kill. So when the corpse is on the floor, they then spot the corpse, go over to it, and just chew on it until the corpse goes down in food. Another thing we could do as well is decay. So we could make in Freeplay mode, we could make food that's on the surface decay after a time. So maybe it just disappears after it spoils after a certain period of time if it's not taken to a nest. Maybe it spoils anyway. Maybe all food has a spoil timer on it in this mode. I don't know. I'll note it down in the suggestions document. That cricket's driving me mad. Okay, so we were going to, so let's get the closest 3 points of interest, but for now we'll just do a square distance check. Okay, so get square distance 2 and just another actor. So what we're going to do is we're going to loop through all of these, so that's just going to loop through every one. It's going to get the distance to it from from the original. Then I said it was going to be a return. It's going to return points of interest. But it's going to be an array of them. Okay, so first of all, we're going to see if So I wanna see if there's 3 in there already. So if that's greater than, so 0, 1, 2. So if it's greater than 1, so that'll check the first 3. So basically, if it's greater than 1, then we we don't do anything. If it's not greater than 1, then we do this square distance check. No. No, if it is greater than 1, we do the square distance check, else we just add it anyway. So the first 3 that get checked should just be added, and then they're the ones that get checked against. So if it's not greater than that, it just gets added without any question. If it is greater than 1, so that's if there's 2 or more, if there's 3 or more in there, because 0, 1, 2. So if there's 2 or more in there. Is that right? Right. Then we need to cycle through this. So nested for loop going on here. I actually think I need a set here. Right, coming back to chat again. If they will attack, yeah, I've done that one. Thank you that you've looked for that. Hola, amigo. Hola. How you doing? Okay, so I need to think about this for a moment. Okay, so we need to store... No, we don't actually need to store the distance. We can do square distance checks again. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at this one, which is this, yeah. See if that distance is less than that distance. So if the new one we're looking at's distance is less than the current one that's in the spot, we need to replace it in the array. Don't think we can just replace it though. What we need to do is we need to remove it from the array. So don't destroy it, but remove it from the array. We can't actually do this whilst we're here. Okay, so we've got an issue here. Is that we're looping through something, and I want to remove something from this array whilst we're looping through it. Now, the way I would do this in code is I would do what I call a reverse iteration through the loop, because then as I remove something, it's not going to cause an issue. If I go in through it forward and I remove something, the system gets very confused. See what I'm doing here. Reverse for each loop. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to reverse through this array. And what I want to do is I want to remove an element of the array. Okay, so if this one's distance to it is less than the current one in the array, don't know if you're following this, maybe you are. If it is less than that, we remove the current item from the array. Then we add the new one, which is this. Okay, so maybe that'll work. See, the issue with this now is that this is going to be tricky to test. But I need to, if I get it in place, we should be able to. We know what we're expecting to see, and what we're expecting to see is the is that creatures will only go to the 3 nearest points of interest. They will no longer walk right the way across the map. So let's see if that's the case. Before I do that, though, there's the blooming cricket again. I need to actually use that though, because at the minute we're not using it. So at the minute, it's just getting a random point of interest to send the creature to. It's this that needs to change. Right, so chosen spawn. There's a reason why I've just set that as a variable, and that's because this random integer would, each time that it pulls off it, come up with a new random integer. But because we've set it, The issue is here that I've got only OG tunnel spawners. I'm going to change that to actors. To be fair, I was intending there to be different types of spawner as well. So, okay, so that should now plug in. Yeah. Okay, so this should return the 3 nearest points. I suppose what we can do is, rather than spawning anything at the moment, let's just run a test and just make it tell us how many it's spawning, how many it's returning, how many points of interest it's returning. So what we should do is we should get 3. It's possible that should say 2 because there'll be 0 as well. Right, coming back to the chat. By the way, I just want to say that your game makes it utterly impossible to speak to others about it and mention bug fixing whilst remaining serious. Yeah, absolutely right. It's the joke that just keeps giving. Interestingly, it doesn't actually seem to have done anything. Oh, I connected it. Right, my guess is that... Hang on. Is that that's not working. If that's the case, we're going to... If that's the case that it's not spawning, it's not returning anything, then I need to put some breakpoints in and figure out what I've done wrong. Oh, nope, 2 spawned. That's what I expected. Okay, so at the minute, it's obviously spawning them everywhere because we haven't actually made use of this at all. So what we want to do now is use this in here. Rather than the actual points of interest. And then if this works, I'm going to do some cleaning up. Hopefully it'll work. I think I'm going to be streaming for another 45 minutes. Just to let you know. Ending at 5:30 UK time. Will we ever be able to upgrade the Queen tiles, by the way? It would be nice to improve those workers as well. It's an interesting one. I can't remember why we haven't had it so you can upgrade them. It was a specific decision to prevent it, because by default you would have been able to do it. And we'd have changed the code to not allow it. I can't remember what the design decision was there. I'll note it down. Maybe raise it at the next meeting, see what people think. Am I right that the points of interest is like a pheromone marker? Not really. The points of interest are, I mean, they're used for several things, but I want to use them for some extra things in this as well. At the moment, they're actually we never finished enemy colony AI properly, and we'll be doing that as we build up to as we build on the game, because we're going to need proper enemy colony AI pretty soon. But the enemy colony uses these points of interest to as a starting location to have a look, like to get a snapshot of what's going on. So it goes through all the points of interest on the map and goes, right, is there food there? Is there food there? Is there food there? Then it makes a decision of what to do. So that's what they currently do. But what the expanded use in Freeplay mode is going to be also, they're going to be areas that can have interesting things in. So, for example, aphids. Yeah, the level might, on your random setup, it might say, right, I want a bunch of aphids here, or I want a plant that constantly drops seeds here, or maybe funnel web spider. Try to think of what other things go on the surface in the levels. So basically they're going to be where there's most enemy creatures, but where most resources are. So they're going to be where the players kind of contesting. Right, where did we get to? What was I doing? Okay, so now theoretically that should work. What we should notice is that enemies spawned only go to the nearest 3 points of interest. So what we should no longer see is them walking all the way across the map. So let's have a look. Okay, so there I believe. Okay, so where are you going? Okay, so that's probably one of the 3 points of interest. Again, so 2 more have spawned here. Where are you going? I think that's a failure. I will very much doubt that that's one of the nearest 3. Ah, damn it. That one's not very well integrated, is it? But I haven't turned random perturbation off there. Let me just have a look. Yeah, I haven't turned random perturbation off. Okay, so what have we got? So where are the points of interest around this area? If I select them all, doesn't help. Okay, so there's 1. There's 2. 3. Okay, so in this area, any creatures spawned from here or here, certainly here, I would expect only to go to these 3 points of interest. I should probably just check my code. So I know it's returning the correct amount of them, so I don't need to do that anymore. But what I don't know is if it's doing this correctly. Okay, so let's follow the logic through. So it gets into here. It takes the whole points of interest array and cycles through the whole thing. For each one, it does a check to see if this nearest point of interest is greater than 1. If it's greater than 1, if it's not greater than 1, it just adds it. So when there's none in here, it adds it. When there's 1 in here, it adds it. And when there's... I actually think that should probably be 2. And when there's 2 in there, it adds it. When there's 0, when there's 1, and when there's 2, it adds it. When there's 3 in there, no, I think I was right. So 0, 1. Oh, God. Stupid semantics. I guess we'll just see. Okay, so but either way, when the length is greater than 2, what it then does is it has a look at these nearest points of interest. And it says if the different distance from the spawn point is less, the distance from the spawn point to this point of to the currently looked at point of interest is less than the distance from the spawn point to the other interest. If that's true, so if the new point's closer, it removes it from the array adds the... That should be right. That should be right. I might need to drill down into this a bit more, just in case I've done something fundamentally wrong. Thanks. Because of this great game, I started to learn about ants. I'm sorry for making you learn something. That's the closest things to us, you could say, because ants build, farm, cultivate livestock. Yeah. Yeah. This friend of mine was telling me about the interesting parallels between ants and humans. It's more than you'd think. I mean, for example, a nest. We create nests, and I don't mean like in your house. I mean like a city. A city is like a colony. Right. If I haven't changed anything, so I don't expect this to work. I'm just going to keep an eye on any that spawn from this tunnel here. They should basically go to those 3 points. Where are you going? Okay, well, there's definitely something wrong with it. I'm not going to bug fix it now because that could be a long and unentertaining process. Don't think it's totally broken. I just think there's probably a couple of little mistakes in it. I'll come back to that. They just walked right past each other. What's going on down here? Oh, they're just killing each other. That spider's on a mission. Doesn't care about. Look at all those spiders. Anyway, there's all sorts going on. Oh, but hey, by the way, I don't know if you remember, not sure if you're the guy who made the original post, John Connor. Yeah, it's me. But you guys posted in a forum called Keep a Clan. Yes, I do remember. That was me. It's kind of dead, but someone posted some critique opinions about your game there. Oh right, I'll have to have a look. I posted there a long time ago. And a couple of people responded, and I kind of had a brief chat to them. But then, in the busyness of the game actually launching and everything, it's clearly I've not kept an eye on that one, so I'll have to go have a look. I had a bit of discussion about it, yeah, but in the end, it was something along the lines of swarming creatures with large amounts of upgraded ants being most effective. I'm not entirely sure if I agree. Point your thread. Thoughts on it? I know where it is. I'll find it myself. It's interesting to follow up on these discussions. Yeah, I'll have to take a look. Oh dear. I should probably stop staring at this. Okay. So yeah, that's looking all right. Now I'm going to add in some options. I'll probably move these options eventually into the level setup, and the idea is that the player will be able to choose them when it begins. And I want you to be able to lock out certain creatures. So if you don't want a certain type of creature to appear, that's okay. Also, yeah, the thing's not actually making decisions at the moment. It will be eventually, but okay. So obviously that's still broken. We haven't fixed it. I'm not going to fix it now. We'll make a note. Right. What I really want is a method of having an array of creatures that can be spawned, that can be selected. Right, large. So large beach wolf spider, medium beach wolf spider, small beach wolf spider, medium hermit crab, small hermit crab, large beach tiger beetle, small beach tiger beetle. Funnily enough, I haven't done well, I'll add them in now. Devil's coach horse. So devil's coach horse larvae, devil's coach horse adult. Okay, so again, this is going to be part of the setup of the game, so triggering on the begin play. I'm going to have spawnable spawnable creatures. This is just going to be an array of creatures. Swarm creatures specifically, actually. And here we're just going to have a series of checks. Get rid of that. Mess that up. An array. There we are. Here we're going to have just a series of checks on these buttons here. This is going to take a while. If it's true, it goes there. Else it moves on to the next check, essentially. I'm just going to copy and paste this. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so So this is large beech wolf spider, so that one. Medium beech wolf spider. This one is small beech wolf spider. Medium hermit crab. Okay. I know you feel like the forum thing I want to post. A lot from compared to social media, barely touching it. Is multiplayer coming? Alright. For a minute, and StarCraft before. Yeah, we'll have to. I can't promise multiplayer at the moment. It's we've got to deliver what we on our promises before we go delving into. Multiplayer is not a simple task. There's a lot of things to consider there. At some point, you have to start building the architecture of the games from the start. Otherwise, you have a lot of problems. Yes, that's true. That's true. I've no doubt we've already got loads of problems. I do think we should definitely start. I mean, we've already taken that into account to some extent, but not entirely. I do think we should start looking at those sort of things, just so we are ready. For when, if it does happen. So where did I get to? Medium, small beech wolf spider. So medium hermit crab. Small hermit crab. Large beech tiger beetle. No, it's just beech tiger beetle. Beech tiger beetle small. Devil's coach horse larvae. Devil's coach horse adult. Alright. Okay, so the idea is they'll all get added to an array. And then we should be able to turn on and off what we want creatures to be. Or what we want the level to allow creatures to be. So here I'm making sure the execution path happens for each one, whether it's false or true here. Sometimes I find blueprint coding so strange, like dragging all these points in. To be fair, I'll probably redo a lot of this in the code. Okay. Then rather than all this here, that's a good point actually, the colony IDs. Because currently what we've got set up here Is it gives certain species the same colony ID? How would I enforce that? Something I haven't taken into account. Come back to the chat. I'm here, one. Yes, you are. Well, yeah. I've already commented on those. Okay. So the only way I can think of doing this is to have a what's called a set. So if I add or a map, I think it's called. Yeah, it's a map. So a map has two variable types. There's this, for example, swarm creature and an integer. That's actually what we want. So here, yeah. Yeah, but I think the issue with a map is you can't. You can't just get one of them in it. You have to iterate through it. Alternatively, I can just have two arrays. So instead of a map here, what I have is just an array of integers. And as it adds them, it adds to this. I think that's probably the best solution for now. And then when we come to spawning a creature, we check what its colony ID should be at that point. I mean, I'm not sure if this is how it's going to work in the end, but like I said, simplest solutions to start with. Right, so what have we got? So they're all beach wolf spiders. So they're all going to be in group -1. These two are hermit crabs, so you can be -2. Two different types of tiger beetle, so you can be -3. Devil's coach horse can be -4. Okay. Right, so now let's get rid of this. I'll probably delete this in a minute, but in fact let's delete it now. So we're going to get a random integer based on the length of that. Then we're going to save that integer. Now we've got that integer, we actually don't need to do anything until we're actually doing the spawning now, because basically we're going to use that integer to find which creature and which ID it needs. So that's the swarm. Ignore that. Here. Okay, so chosen. So what we want is spawnable creatures. Get. And then we want spawnable IDs. Again, get. Oh, no reference. Getting a copy is absolutely fine. Okay, so what we should see now is those creatures still should be fighting only other ones from other species. However, what I should be able to do is turn them on and off from what am I doing? This is Freeplay director. Okay, so actually I haven't. Just making these visible from the outside. So those variables can now be edited on the outside. There they are. So why don't we say we're going to have large beach wolf spiders and devil's coach horse adults. So if I set those, every creature spawned now should be into one of those. Okay, so what's going on? Coming back to chat for a moment whilst it's saving. Mostly, I have nothing to say. Catching up. Come on, guys. Trying to liven chat up. Wake up, chat. I'm very curious what roles the Mega Laphelia and Jack Jumper ants are going to fill. But, well, I don't think you're going to talk about that yet. I think it's going to be we're not going to be able to get every species of ant in the game. we know what we want next, and that's leaf cutters. But there's still decisions to be made on those, and yeah, they've got to fill niches within your own army. Really, I can talk about what leaf cutters are. Leaf cutters are going to the mages in the form of Carrion will act like a tank unit. They'll be able to taunt nearby enemies, so you can keep your shooters defended, for example, your wood ants defended. So that's kind of the niche that the leafcutter mages are going to fill. Yeah, Mike's posted the suggestions document. Do put suggestions down in there. I will have a quick whiz through them at the end, and I'll discuss anything that's in there. Right. So, yeah, see if that's worked. Or whether I've just broken everything, which is equally possible. Can I get my head in the right position? Does it look like my head's flashing? Okay, let's have a look. What have we got? What have we got? Hey! Correct. Yep. Okay, we've successfully limited what creatures are allowed to spawn. Right, let me do a check of the time, because I'm going to need to eat soon. Yeah, okay, so it's 25 past. I said I'd leave at half past. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through that suggestions document. And take a look at what, if anyone's written anything down. What? Maybe socks. Okay, let's have a look. Come here. Right, okay, so full Christmas mode. We're talking snow, fairy lights, George Michael's Last Christmas. Maybe next year. I think doing stuff like that would be great fun, like a proper Christmas mode. Maybe it's like Christmas in Australia, and you're a species of ant that's set up home in someone's house, and they've got to eat the Christmas dinner. Something like that. I think that'd be great fun. Maybe one day, not this year though. More hats. more hats. Maybe socks. Some nice more wine. Someone's really gone festive on the suggestions today. Bottle of port. Urban levels. Urban levels I think would be great fun, but it's like I say, it doesn't fit with the nature documentary feel of it. So I think it'd be nice to do urban levels, but just kind of as one-off specials, I think. Right. Okay. With that done, I'm going to leave the stream there, guys. Thanks for joining me. This is going to be the last stream before Christmas, and I'll be taking my laptop with me, but so I'll still be working on the game over the Christmas holidays. But I'm not going to be I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be in the working from the office, so I won't be able to stream. I'll continue to work on Freeplay mode, and also fixing any bugs that people spot. Haha. But yeah, we're thinking Freeplay mode's probably going to be the first proper update we do. Although we've got ideas for an arena mode as well, which allows you just to spawn 2 armies and watch them fight, and basically so it allows you to test things out. Other things we got coming, there's the wiki of the Undergrowth, which is still in development. The framework for it's in place, but we do need to give that some time, and that will allow you to see all the stats and some information about the various ant species. And also I want to do some tutorial videos in there, just so there's for new players, so there's a good place for them to start. Because I think at the moment a lot of people just ignore the little pop-ups that come down the side, and then they get confused and don't know how to play. So yeah, there's a few things coming. The actual next tier of the Formicarium levels is probably a little further off, because we want to try and do those in one big go, like get a load of them done in one big go, so we don't need to keep getting audio recorded and keep and whatnot. So that could be a little way off, but the stuff coming before then. But anyway, have a good Christmas. And I'll see you in the new year. I'll probably be next streaming, not the first week of January, but the second week of January. And it's likely to be a Thursday again. So I'll try and do a stream then, and we'll see if we can get a weekend stream after that. But yeah, have a good Christmas. Make sure you get lots of ants for Christmas. And I'll leave this suggestion document available for a few more hours yet. So if you do want to make any suggestions, do pop them in the suggestions document, and I will read through them all and make some decisions on some of them. Remember, this is mostly for free play mode. The suggestions, it's not general game suggestions. General game suggestions, you're best off going to the forum. So that's forum.eotugame.com, and there's loads of suggestions and people discussing suggestions and ideas in there. So if they're not free play suggestions, that'd be a good place to put them. So yeah, have a good Christmas, and I will see you in the new year with some new game modes. Ta-ra.